It's in there, right now, quietly working away, totally unseen.
We gave this awe-inspiring force a pretty profound name, the sovereign spark of life.
All right, welcome back to The Explainer. Today we're doing an ultimate exam review, and we are going to dive enthusiastically into the fundamental building blocks of all living things. If you've got a biology test coming up, or if you simply want to understand the incredible microscopic machinery keeping you alive right this very second, you are exactly in the right place. We're going to break down the complex world of cells into clear, testable, and highly memorable concepts.
Here's our quick roadmap for today's review. First, we'll meet the cell, then compare prokaryotic and eukaryotic types. After that, we're heading inside the factory, comparing plant versus animal cells, looking at why cells matter, and wrapping up with a quick exam revision.
All right, Section 1, Meet the Cell. Let's get right into the smallest living unit.
So did you know your body is actually made up of tiny living units? Just think about it for a second. Imagine what literally makes up your entire physical body, from the hair on your head right down to your toes. If we zoomed all the way in with a super powerful microscope, what are we actually looking at?
Trillions, literally trillions of them. You know, unlike simple bacteria, which are basically just one solitary unit, human beings are incredibly complex. You are a walking, talking, breathing ecosystem made up of trillions of these tiny microscopic units. But what are they exactly?
Well, by definition, a cell is the smallest unit of life. Every single living thing out there, humans, animals, plants, you name it, is made of cells. Actually, the best way to think about a cell is like a small bustling factory. A factory that works continuously, 24/7, just to keep you alive. And honestly, once you picture it as this busy, highly organized factory, the rest of this biology material just clicks right into place.
Moving on to Section 2, prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells, the two main types.
Okay, listen up, because this side-by-side comparison is absolute exam gold. First, we've got prokaryotic cells. These are your simple guys, very basic structure, and the absolute key differentiator here, the thing you definitely need to memorize, is that they do not have a nucleus. Bacteria are your classic example for this one. Now, comparing that to eukaryotic cells, these are way more complex. They do have a nucleus, and they're packed with many internal structures to handle all that complexity. Both human cells and plant cells fall right into this eukaryotic bucket. So, simply put, prokaryotic means simple with no nucleus, and eukaryotic means complex with a nucleus.
Okay, Section 3, Inside the Factory. Let's talk cell organelles.
This right here is your ultimate cheat sheet. Let's meet our factory managers. First up is the nucleus. Think of it as the brain of the whole operation. It controls all activities and securely holds your DNA. If the brain goes offline, the factory shuts down. Next is the cell membrane. This is your security gate. It's the outer cover that protects the cell and strictly controls what gets to enter and what has to leave. Then we have a massive test favorite, the mitochondria. You've probably heard it a million times, but it really is the powerhouse of the cell. It produces the energy the cell needs to actually do its work. No mitochondria, no energy. Moving down the list, ribosomes are your busy factory workers. They're the ones making proteins, which you absolutely need for growth and repair. Then there's the vacuole, which is basically your storage unit holding water, food, and waste. And finally, the cytoplasm. Think of this as the jelly filling. It's the substance inside the cell where all these other organelles just kind of float around and do their thing.
Now, hold on a second. I really need to highlight something super important here. Plant cells have an exclusive extra layer called the cell wall that gives them shape and support. This is a huge distinction. Animal cells absolutely do not have this rigid outer wall. Plants need it so they can stand up straight without, having a skeleton.
Which brings us to Section 4, plant versus animal cells. Let's look at the key differences.
So let's build on what we just learned. We already know about the cell wall, right? Plant cells have it, animal cells don't. But there is a bit more to it. Plant cells also have chloroplasts, which are awesome because they help them make food directly from sunlight. Animal cells, no chloroplasts. Also, because of that rigid cell wall, plant cells have a very fixed, usually rectangular shape. Animal cells, since they don't have that wall, have a flexible, much more varied shape. So make sure you lock in these three comparative traits for your test: the cell wall, the chloroplasts, and the fixed versus flexible shape. All right, Section 5, Why Cells Matter. Let's look at the big picture.
You see, cells are definitely not static. They are constantly active, running through this really essential three-step cycle. Step 1, they take in nutrients. Step 2, they use those nutrients to produce energy. And step 3, they remove the leftover waste. Literally, trillions of these microscopic factories are running this exact cycle inside your body right at this very second, just to keep you going.
To put it simply, without cells, life cannot exist, period. They make up all living things. They keep you functioning day to day, and they are completely responsible for your growth and repairing your tissues. Literally every single action, every thought, every heartbeat happens because of the tireless work of your cells.
And finally, Section 6, Quick Exam Revision. Time to review the basics.
All right, as promised, here is your rapid-fire bulleted checklist for the exam. Bullet 1, a cell is the smallest unit of life. Bullet 2, the two types are prokaryotic, remember simple, no nucleus, and eukaryotic, complex with a nucleus. Bullet 3, the core parts you gotta know. Nucleus is the brain, mitochondria is the powerhouse, and the membrane is the security gate. And the final bullet, plant versus animal cells. Just remember plants have cell walls and chloroplasts, and animals do not. Honestly, if you can just remember this quick bulleted list, you're gonna absolutely crush your exam.
So, we've seen how cells are basically these flawless little factories keeping you alive right now, but it makes you wonder, what happens if a factory's security gate, the cell membrane, actually breaks down? Like what sneaks in and what leaks out? I want you to think about that, and we will explore that whole